International Women's Month, or it's Women's Month, I don't know, well, Global Women's Month, whatever you want to call it. But for this month, I am focusing on all of my women issues. I don't want to call them issues, but celebrating women. But today's episode, I'm going to be talking about reproductive health. All things reproductive health, conception, having babies, getting ready for having babies, sexual intimacy, all about the vagina, how to care for your reproductive parts and things like that. So let me give you the background story of why this episode came about. So I had a podcast guest last week, Dr. Jamisha Braxton. She is an NP, a female reproductive health expert. I'm not a female reproductive health expert, right? But I thought, okay, everything that she told me on the podcast, I found it so interesting and educational that I felt I'm going to do a show about it on the YouTube channel. So here goes. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first time on the channel, and of course turn your notifications on because we're dropping episodes every single week. But most importantly, like, share, comment, let me know what you think about this episode, and definitely share this channel with your friends. So I will be right back to bring you guys today's episode, which is talking about all things female reproductive health. Now again, like I said, full disclaimer. I'm not a female reproductive health expert. I am still Dr. OJ, the med spa professor, but it's Women's Month. Why not address those issues that pertain to us, especially me being a mom, being a woman? Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about it. I'll be right back. You're gonna love everything I have to say, by the way. I'll be right back.
Oh no, oh no. She's old, yeah. So many of us got what to say, but we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out of the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's got the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like giving joy to the helpless. Oh, yes. With it in bringing life to the dream. That's all we are, Ruby and Sammy and she's oh yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you have. Dr. OJ keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear.
And we are back. So, all things female reproductive health. We're going to start with conception. Now, this is a very delicate issue. I'm a woman in my early 40s, and I have been very fortunate to have had my children, being able to conceive and have 3 amazing children earlier on in my 20s into my 30s. And of course, at that time when I had my last born, who is now 8 years old, I'm like, yeah, we are done. We are closing this shop. But a lot of women have not been fortunate in that arena, and you guys will not even believe that infertility is one of the highest reproductive issues that women have all over the world. And the reality of the matter is infertility does not just affect women, it affects men as well. But we're focusing today on my sisters, my women folk. Infertility is an issue that is also affecting women much younger. Before it used to be like, oh, if you don't have your babies on time, your eggs are gonna dry up, your ovaries are gonna... Right now, the causes of infertility are really extensive. In fact, it's so difficult to narrow it down. Professionals just advocate for preventive care by ensuring that you take care of all of your reproductive organs, starting with the most important one. Do you guys know what that is? The vagina. Yes, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, a lot of women will say, they've had miscarriages. And it's so funny that I came to the realization, or I was fully educated, that especially for first-time mothers, miscarriages are usually normal. If you experience it, it's not because you've done anything bad. It's not because you have not taken care of yourself. It is when it becomes a repeated situation, that is when you want to begin to address the issue medically. If you have a miscarriage the first time you conceive, technically, let me just kind of make this like simple layman terms, how to explain, or how it was explained to me, or let me just say how my brain sort of received the information. It's like your body has never received that kind of visitor before, like your body has a regular system. You know, you go into ovulation, you have your period and all of that. All of a sudden there is gestation, right? And then, all of a sudden there is, what's it called? All of a sudden, you know, the sperm and the egg come together and then they form this wonderful little life on the inside of you. Now, I'm not using science or teacher speak. I just want to break it down, make it very simple so that everyone watching the video can truly understand what I'm saying. And then the embryo is formed and all of a sudden your body starts to feel like, what is here? This is a strange being. I don't understand why this thing is here. I've never experienced this before. And then your body fights it off like an infection, like the flu. And then it gets rid of the baby because it's like, this is weird. I have to get up and defend your system, like your immune system, and then your body fights it off like an infection. And that's usually what kind of explains a lot of first-time miscarriages. Now, when it repeats, then we definitely need to see a doctor who knows exactly, or who can investigate further to see what's going on and get you the help that you need. And, you know, I was also informed that, you know, after a miscarriage, it's advised that a woman waits about 3 months or so before they start trying to get pregnant again, and that gives your body time to heal, recover, restore, and by the second try, after about 90 days, your body is ready to take in this new life. And then, of course, hopefully by the grace of God, it works out and you're able to conceive and have that beautiful baby that you really, really desire to have. So that's it about miscarriages and fertility issues and things like that. But let's talk about the vagina, and the reason why I find this topic quite fascinating. Ergo, podcast, YouTube episode again. Dr. Jamisha was talking about the fact that the vagina is a self-cleaning oven. And I was like, self-cleaning oven. Your vagina is a self-cleaning oven. So, see, that was, like I said, the way my brain interprets stuff. Like when I get information and it's very complex, immediately my brain takes it to the very basic level and I break it down and I find something that I can compare it to. So she says it's an organ that cleans itself out. So we don't need to put anything like, you know, they talk about douching, they talk about cleaning, all these soaps and all of the vagina pH balancing products that people are trying to sell you here and there. She was like, all of that is not necessary. Now that's from a professional, so I believe she is a medical professional, trained, certified for many, many years working in the reproductive health space. So I trust her judgment, and she treats women for a living. Let's just put it that way. I treat women in a different way. But she says you don't need to put anything inside your body. You don't need to, like, water is enough. Like, your body is supposed to produce natural hormones and chemicals. Well, they're not chemicals, but natural juices, fluids that are able to cleanse out your system. Now, where do these natural cleaning agents come from? I asked her, because I'm like, okay, if your body is supposed to produce natural cleaning agents that cleans out the vagina, and you're telling me that my vagina is supposed to clean itself, where does it come from? She said, it's simple, Dr. O, from the foods you eat. I was like, oh, why didn't you say that? I was like, what kind of foods are we talking about? Of course, you know, I had to get the tea on the food. So she was like, yes, the foods are very important. What you put in your body is what allows your body to function naturally. So she recommends that we include in our diet heavily probiotics from, like, some people take medication, vitamins that have probiotics in them, but she's like, foods, just natural foods are better because you get the full nutrients, like yogurts, any natural cultures, any foods that contain living cultures. It's always good for you to ingest it. Eating your fruits and vegetables in a more natural state. I know some vegetables we have to kind of like steam it, cook it a little bit, but never overcook your vegetables, because then you lose every single thing that is in there and you're just eating like bland, whatever, maybe seasoned, but yeah, bland stuff. But yeah, so she's like basically just investing in eating like probiotics, healthy cultures, things that allows your body to naturally cleanse itself, and it actually stimulates the production of the healthy juices that allows your vagina to smell nice, feel nice and comfortable. And it actually helps you avoid just some natural things that causes not STIs, but discomfort, like yeast infection, fungal infection, things like that. And she also educated me about the vagina regarding how we tend to mistake an STI, which is a sexually transmitted disease, to just a simple basic infection. Now, a simple basic infection like bacterial vaginosis, now that, I can tell you, I'm not going to digress, but bacterial vaginosis, that was actually my thesis for my undergrad as a microbiology graduate. So I wrote a nice thesis on that, and I gave a nice presentation of bacterial vaginosis, just on a side note, y'all. So y'all know I know what I'm talking about. But she was like, mistaking things like bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, fungal infection for something more serious like chlamydia or any other sexually transmitted disease is a common error that a lot of women make. And that is why it's important when you notice a change, when you start getting certain reactions, very, very quickly, make sure you go see your healthcare professional. And she said another thing. This is more like just decorum, right? The way we carry ourselves. A lot of women are ashamed to talk about their vaginal issues. They don't want to go to a professional until it gets so bad, and then by the time you go in, you have caused permanent damage. You have caused permanent damage to your female parts. And then that is when we now begin to see a lot of people suffer from, again, infertility. Not saying that's the only cause, I'm just saying that's one of the causes, okay? So y'all don't come for me, just understand that I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be my sister's keeper. So, I will be right back, and we're going to discuss more about female reproductive health in this episode. But while we take this break, this episode is generously sponsored by HD Pro Global Beauty Career Institute and Body Med Spa. I'll be right back to continue on with our reproductive health issues. Vaginal health. My vagina. All right.
My name is Dr. Ohikosola Jinadu. I'm a beauty professional, med spa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it is important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent med spa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you.
All right, guys, I am back. Welcome back to part 2 of All Things Female Reproductive Health with Dr. OJ Speaks. So where was I? I was talking about, infertility issues that stem from not taking care of your vagina, which is the entryway to your uterus, your fallopian tube. Pretty much everything that goes on within the female reproductive system is connected to the vagina. So it's very important for us to understand how important this organ is and understand how to care for it. So do not use soaps, douches. So many products out there that people are selling. Some people sell products that they'll tell you that it makes your vagina more, I don't know which one it is because I've never tried it, but it makes it more slippery and wet for sexual encounters. I'm not really sure how healthy those products are and how it either impacts you positively or negatively. I cannot speak on all of those things like Kayamata. I think I should actually do an episode on Kayamata because I really want to get informed about it. I like to know everything about, I like to know a lot of things about quite a few things. So I'm going to do an episode on this Kayamata industry and how it impacts us, because it's important for us to be very, very aware of what we're putting in our bodies and how safe it is. Because if you look at the trend in the world today, a lot of women suffer from so many different conditions that we like these are unexplained. These are things that were not as prevalent in the times and the years of our mothers, our grandmothers. They dealt with issues, of course, but not as much as we are having to deal with today. Could it be the fact that we are now so conscious about making things happen for ourselves that we engage in so many different things and we don't even try to look at the after effects or the side effects of all of these things? So definitely look forward to an episode on Kayamata from me, because I need to understand that industry. I need to understand how it works. I need to understand the efficacy of it and why it's necessary for couples or individuals to kind of incorporate this into their sex life. Anyway, so much of a side note for that, because y'all know when we start talking about female issues, it just goes everywhere. But last but not the least, I want to address like sexual intimacy when it comes to like, whether you're single or you're married. Generally for me, I believe that, okay, there's a school of thought that believes that when you're single, you should be celibate. I don't know. I'm not going to say either or, but if you are single and you're sexually active, my thing about it will be to be very, very conscious and aware. Take care of yourself. Get your yearly checks. And I'm even talking about myself, because this girl right here, she's so busy. Like, I literally have to remind myself and force myself to go get checked out, to get my pap smear. After you turn 40, you're supposed to start getting the mammogram. There's so many things that we need to do as women. We give a lot of ourselves, not just to children and husbands, but even to the world. So we need to be very aware and take care of ourselves. Like this body, get your mammogram, get your breast checks, get your vaginal checks, get your pap smear, make sure pH level, all of the chemicals, all of the things in there, all of the microorganisms that are supposed to be there are what are there, and they're not foreign things that you have introduced. Some people use sex toys. It's very important for you to be mindful of the care, like the hygiene of those things as if you're using it. I'm not here to judge. I'm just addressing issues across the board, okay? So if you're into that type of thing, make sure you care for your toys and your equipment properly. Clean it well, not by using harsh chemicals or heavy soaps, because remember, if you're cleaning those toys with chemicals and other things, then you have to put it into your body. You are automatically, like verbatim, you're automatically introducing those chemicals into your body, and these things will grow rapidly because your body, especially the female body, it harbors microorganisms and it allows it to regenerate faster than our male counterparts, just to say, because of the way we're made up. We have the opening and yeah, okay, y'all get it. I'm sorry, y'all get it. I don't need to be too graphic, but that's it. And of course, for married women as well, I know that a lot of married folks kind of, of course, they are certified. They have the certificate to practice sexual intimacy. So for them, one thing that I've heard a lot is the fact that a lot of married people have this really boring situation with their sexual life. Honestly, the only thing I can say is, because I'm not a sexual expert, I would say it's okay for you to consult a sexual therapist, because I know they have sexual therapists, and I guess that's where the Kayamata industry kind of evolved from. They can have so many things to help you spice things up, because I believe, so on a general note, I really believe that just because you're married does not mean you have to have a boring, mundane, and weird sexual situation. You really need to learn and really put yourself out there to figure out ways to spice things up and keep it very interesting with your husband and your partner. It's very, very important. So these are all the ways that I feel like women can really take care of themselves and also be taken care of. So yeah, this topic was quite interesting, and I was sort of thinking about how to really present it to my audience. I hope I've done a little bit of justice to it without scaring you guys too much. But the purpose of today's episode is to provide education, information, a little bit of entertainment about the vagina and all of our reproductive female parts. But bottom line is this. This is my closing argument to you. Take care of yourself. Make sure you get your yearly checkup or checkouts and things like that. Make sure you are mindful and you are very aware of what is going on top to bottom in your body, because you never know. that next checkup could be the saving grace between you going to the other side and you staying here to live your best life. So make sure you are very well aware of what's going on in your body by taking care of all of it. That's all I have for you guys today on Dr. OJ Speaks. I hope I have done this episode justice. To all my ladies, I love and I celebrate you. Until next time, I will be back again with another engaging conversation on lifestyle, on, relationships, or maybe a vlog. I don't know what vlog I'm going to be bringing to you next, but watch out. Stay tuned. Subscribe, turn your notification on, share this channel, comment below, and I'll be back.